Welcome to the Callie Cat channel. I was asked by the Tomxcute company if I would do a product review of this water bowl fountain. So we're going to get right to it. Let's get inside this box and see what we have. So the first thing we see looks to be a stainless steel water bowl, and there is a card in here that says there is a 2-year warranty on the pump. So that's nice to know right out of the gate. One of the first things that I see here is the spout, and I'm not sure what this is. Maybe that's something for the filter. We're seeing the instructions, a lid to the device, and once again these seem to be filters. We'll find out when I get a chance to look at all this. I can see that this piece that I took out at the beginning snaps right in, so not a lot of guesswork. I'm pretty sure that's where that goes. We have 2 more cartridges. I'm guessing that these are the actual filter cartridges, probably things that you would have to replace. Oh, we have another one. So there are 3 of those. Here is the cord. Now, one thing I'm seeing right away is this is not a 110 power outlet. This does plug into a USB. So be aware that if you're interested in this product, you're going to have an auxiliary power outlet or way that you can plug it into a USB. And I'm sure this is going to be the pump. And this bag here. Open this up, and this looks to be the heart of the whole thing, the pump. So, oh, and there's also a brush in here. Now this brush is important. I know somebody who had a dispenser like this and they stopped using it because they said they saw some mold or growth inside the tube. Well, the key, of course, is keeping it clean. So this brush would be really important. One thing I noticed right away, though, this brush would not be able to reach all the way in. So it seems logical to me to make sure that you get a brush, because you still have to clean it. Just because it's automatic doesn't mean that you don't have to do your job. So what I'm going to do is go off camera. I'm going to figure out how all this stuff goes together, and then we'll come back and I'll show it all to you. All right, we're ready for the test. Now, the first thing I did is I washed everything out, because if my pets are going to drink from it, I want it to be really clean. So I filled this up with water. There is a minimum and a maximum line on here. This is typically what I give to my cats to drink from. It is a 300 milliliter. I filled this up 9 times. So it has a really good capacity. My 2 cats go through about 1.5 bowls a day when they're just drinking out of these 2. So this will probably last a good 4 or 5 days. Now, if you remember, I took out that gray piece and I snapped it together. I shouldn't have done that, because the way that attaches to the lid is, I don't want to unsnap it now again because I don't want to break it. But this gray part right here, this is what houses the filter. And all you do is bring it up to the top lid and you snap them together, and it'll hold that in place. Then it did want you to soak the filter for 5 minutes, and we're going to put that in there and then snap it in place. And that's all there is to it, because the gray box or container, that always stays in place. All right, so I'm going to put this into the bowl. And the next part, the key component, is going to be the pump. So the pump it's really simple, but this is actually the pump down here, the white part. This is the battery pack and the control on the top. So what it has here is a kind of a bolt of lightning that shows there's power going to the unit. It has an on-off. You push that and hold it for a long count, maybe about 2 to 3 seconds. It'll turn it on and it'll turn it off. And then you have a timer function and a continuous function. According to the instructions, when this is plugged in, it is going to automatically work continuously, meaning the water will always be flowing. if you're going to work just from a battery, now I don't know how long it takes to charge this battery. It says it will work intermittently, and this will sense when the cat approaches. I'm assuming this is the sensor right here. It's really weird because in the instructions it says this is a sensor, this little light on the pump. It doesn't make sense to me because that's submerged inside a stainless steel tank. But anyway, that's what it says. So we're going to see. On the back is where you plug it in. So I brought some power up to my tabletop here. So I am going to plug that in. By the way, this cord, it's a pretty long cord. It's about 5 feet long. So as long as you're in some general vicinity to an outlet and can plug in a USB cube, you should be fine. If not, just add an extension cord to this. Now the other thing I'm going to add is our water spout. So that goes right here in the middle of the power, and I'm just going to, it just goes in, there we go, by pressure. Just put that in there and it'll hold it in place. Then I'm going to drop that down inside and let's plug it in and see what happens. Okay, now I can see that it's lit up here. So I'm going to hold that for about 2 seconds. And now power's on. And look at that. The water is coming out. Now, the question is, will your pet drink from something that water is continually flowing from? And I don't have an answer to that. I'm going to have to try it out with my cats. The problem is I never see my cats when they drink. I hear them in the night. Our 2 water bowls that we have for them is in the bedroom. So when they come in, I can hear them drinking. Now we have a 3rd water bowl by their food. They hardly ever drink from that. Go figure, cats, right? But this seems to be working just the way it should. It's coming out, it's very quiet. I cannot hear that pump. I heard it initially when I first turned it on and it was just starting the water flowing, but now it seems to be working great. The water's pouring out and then it's going down through that little slot where it goes through a filter. Now I did also notice that the pump has a foam filter there as well. I'm assuming that is more to catch debris, maybe hair. I find mostly what is left behind in the bowl is pet hair. The cats drink from this and then there's always hair left in the dish. So I'm guessing that foam would actually catch that hair and keep it from going into the pump itself. And then the carbonated filter is what keeps the water fresh. Now, the instructions that came with this said that you should replace the filter. I'm going to dig in here and see if I can find one of the filters. I've been throwing everything back in this box. So it said you should replace this filter every 2 weeks. When I went to the website, the Tomxcute website, it said up to 30 days. Now, the filters I saw there were packets. And when I look inside this plastic container, I do see a packet in there. So I don't know if you can just set the packets into that gray plastic box or if you have to put it in here. If so, I would have to manipulate this a little bit and see if this opens up. Okay, I was able to open this. It hinged open pretty easily. This does have a hinge to it. I just took a small screwdriver and kind of popped the 2. You'll see where it is. They're sort of like little clasp clicks. And inside, what I have are 2 packs. I don't know exactly what they are. One seems to contain a yellow, the contents are yellow, and the other looks more like your typical activated charcoal. And so one was in one side, one was in the other, and then it had this paper on top, and it snapped into place. And so that's what you are going to find inside there. And if you just pop it open, pry it open with a screwdriver or a knife or something, and you'll see the long end that hinges. Soak it in water for 5 minutes. And I would imagine when you buy the replacements, that's what you get. So with the bowl came 3 of these, and they seem to be reusable. So what I'm going to do when the time comes is I'm going to buy my replacement filters and then pop this open and place them inside there. But make sure you're changing that filter. When you're changing the filter, it also recommends to clean the pump. So if you take that pump, I would have to see what that's like to pull that apart, and I would assume the only thing that really comes out of there is that foam filter. It can probably be rinsed, but I also saw on the website when you buy these filters, it also comes with the foam filters. You can get 8 of these carbonated filters and 8 of the foam filters. They're currently on the website for $16.99 for 8 of them, or $24.99 for 16 of them. And it looked like you would get both, the carbonated filter and the foam filter. So far, this is great. It's very quiet, and it seems to be working really well. Now, I don't know what would happen because it might take time for this to charge the battery, but it's supposed to sense when the cat walks up to it and then start the pump going. So it will work continually 24/7 when it's plugged in, and it will work intermittently. It senses the cat's approach and then it turns on. Once again, it does come with this brush so you can keep the spout, the spigot, clean. This just doesn't seem long enough. I would look into getting a longer one. I know they sell them at just about any grocery store, probably dollar stores as well, that are really long because they make those for the reusable straws. Now, Tomxcute is offering us, viewers to my channel, a 10% discount when you order. So look for that down below in the description. I think I could go for 3 or 4 days without having to change the water. There is a viewing glass right in front, so you can see when the water is getting low. And maybe it'll be every 2 weeks that I have to change my water, going from every single morning to, well, for me it would probably be 5 to 6 days, because that's when they seem to go through the water. But then again, it doesn't mean I have to change and clean everything. It just means I have to add water after 5 or 6 days. But it wouldn't be until 2 weeks that I would actually have to service this. So that makes me feel pretty good. Based on what I've seen, I give this an A+. It does everything it's supposed to do. Now, the only thing I don't know is if my cats are going to drink from this, and that's going to be a preference for your cat or your dog. Thanks for joining me. Like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you here next time on the Callie Cat.